We still have Darey at Alade in the
I'm
house.
still here. Haven't gone anywhere.
It's still...
I couldn't, the break was so short. I couldn't even, I wanted to go somewhere then. But yeah.
now, from where let's continue from where we stopped. And the question is, what has happened since that last time I spoke with you?
Since last, what, 2 years?
Yes.
We've had Love Like a Movie 3. We had Ciara over as a special guest. The show was futuristic, edgy, lovely turnout. I performed the new album, Naked. So Pray For Me and so many other songs, Orike Lewa and co. We had celebrity appearances, Sound Sultan. Who else? There was so many people. But Sound Sultan was one of them, for sure, I remember. And then Pray For Me, the music video, Orike Lewa music video, Asikulai featuring Olamide, shot as well. You know, I performed around South Africa, here, awards, some nominations. Yeah, it's been interesting. And then our company now, as a production company, has evolved into an agency, a full-blown creative agency. So that's Live Spot. So yes, I've been busy.
Ah, that's interesting. I'm actually very proud of you.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. You keep reinventing yourself.
Thank you. It's important.
You know, keeping in touch with reality.
With what's happening.
And not sticking to, not getting stuck in space somewhere.
No.
You know, like some of us have, you know, happened to, you know. I mean, it's nice. I'm actually happy for you. So are we expecting a Love Like a Movie part 4?
Well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It depends on, you know, the current situation in the country.
Economic.
Yeah, it's been tough, you know, across businesses, but you always have to diversify and find how to consolidate your resources, you know, to scale through. And we hope that this too shall pass. So yeah. Okay,
at least from now, from this point, you can project and say, okay, it's workable. It's likely to happen.
It's doable. If someone watching right now, you know, is like, well, you know, get in touch with me. Yeah, let's make it happen, please. We'd love your support, you know, in achieving. The reality, though, you know, is that it consumes a lot of resources, you know, because of the level, the scale, the professionalism, the execution, and the quality, you know, that we are always set to achieve. If we can't do it right, then we won't do it at all. You know.
Okay, so we'll just keep it.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Fingers crossed. God willing.
Yes.
Right. That's interesting. So now, Pray For Me. It's one song. Every time I listen to it, it has a way of inspiring me. It just brings me up from whatever, you know. Yeah,
wherever you are.
Wherever I am. It just lights me up and all. How did you come up with that song? How did you conceptualize it? And how come you did it with the Soweto
Gospel Choir?
Choir?
The song itself, inspired by the story of P Square. You know, the producer, Oscar Himanaka, who he's produced songs, you know, he's worked with P Square a lot. He produced Collabo, P Square and Don Jazzy, you know. And from working with them and being very close to them, of course, he knows their story of how they came from Jos, or how they tried to leave home and their parents were not quite, you know, especially their dad wasn't having it, you know. Thought they would become armed robbers or whatever the case may be. He was just worried for them. And they were hell-bent. They knew what they wanted. They saw their name, you know, in shining lights already, you know. But the parents couldn't see that, you know, but they took that chance. Left home, you know, damned any consequences. In fact, they, from the story told to me, they broke their SIM cards, you know, put on the dining table, you know, dropped their phones like, we don't want to be reached.
I went blank.
And they went. And they said, look, the only thing you can do is to pray for us. You know, so from hearing that story, it's not like the song is talking exactly about how their story, you know, went, but it's just drawing inspiration from that and even adding some of, you know, not that I had personal experiences as such, but I can identify, you know, and a lot of people can identify with the hardship in life.
Wow. So how long did it take you to put it together? I mean, looking at
the video itself took a few months because we shot in Lagos, towards Ekpe. We shot in Abeokuta, all that part of where the dad, you know, Olu Jacobs was praying and reading the letter and all that. That was set in Abeokuta. And then, of course, I filmed the part with Soweto Gospel Choir in Johannesburg, in different areas.
Why Soweto Choir?
I mean, they're big. Their brand is big. Their sound is pure. I'm not saying that we don't have great choirs in Nigeria, but also I like to spread myself out, you know, and collaborate and partner with, you know, not necessarily only Nigerians. So I'm not biased to say, oh, I must only work with Nigerians. Evidently on the album there's Asha, there's Olamide, and then just, you know, our fellow Africans.
Interesting. So you're going from R&B to inspiration.
I've always said that I don't want to make music that my children can't listen to, you know. And if you look at what's obtainable nowadays, in as much as we enjoy our Afropop and what's happening, but we also have to remember that the children are there. You know, there's a future to worry about. You know, what are they imbibing? What are they learning from? Because a lot of kids now want to be what they see on TV, you know. So it's something that I'm very worried about. The content of the music is important. The words that you choose to use, the visuals that you choose to produce, you know, is very important, because at the end of the day, you know, you look back at yourself and what you've done and you be like, let me do this let me do this thing, you know. So it's very important to be careful, you know, to be wary of what you're producing and what you're making for, especially for a younger audience, you know.
Do I get that feeling that you probably got some kind of maybe tutoring from your dad in any way?
I don't think so. I think it's more inspiration, you know, just from hearing and, you know, being fortunate enough. I was quite young when he died. Yes. You know, but just being fortunate enough to have seen some things that he did by going around with him. But most of it came after he passed on, and coming across with people like you, or, you know, older colleagues of his, you know, his mates from then, and they would tell you what he did or how he used to do. Those kind of stories, you know, resonate, and you'd be like, wow, you know, I have a long way to go.
You have a long, big shoe to
I don't even, the shoes still there. I don't even try, you know, because no one could do it like he did, you know, and I can't do that. So I've just left that aside and just try to do my own thing, my own little way. You know.
What are those landmark achievements you say, okay, yes, your dad did, and yes, you just said it, you don't even want to look at it, but you just admire it.
I don't want to. My dad was making people laugh when nobody was making people laugh. My dad was hosting events, and, you know, I still see people that tell me, oh, my dad was the MC at their wedding. You know, and these are elderly people now. I see people who tell me that they met their wife, their current wife, that they're still married. They met them at my dad's club, you know. So stories like that. Going through some of his autobiography, learning television production in England, coming home at a time when he didn't want to come home, but because he lost his father, you know, he had to come, and, you know, his family forced him, you know, literally to, look, come and join our race here. Some of his friends who even, you know, encouraged him to come home have passed on as well now. You know, his TV show back then, the Barbie show, and how it impacted and gave birth to the entertainment that we have now. There's still nothing like that on TV now in terms of a variety show. He discovered people like Daddy Shoki, who was an acrobat back in the day that would fold himself into a bowl. You know, here, I think on you know, these premises, you know, so it just, from doing things like that, and also being a philanthropist in terms of just being there for people, you know, for nothing, you know, and being as helpful and supportive as possible. And that's just the surface, you know. He's done a whole lot more, you know, especially for our entertainment industry.
How old were you when he died? I mean, for those who wouldn't know.
12.
Do you still have, like, memories, any vague memory? Or
I remember meeting Dizzy Gillespie, you know, with him. This was at National Theatre. I mean, those days where, you know, the arts was the arts, entertainment was happening, kind of like it's happening now, you know. I remember attending parties with him, and I'll just be with my Fanta on my table. Of course, I can't be rubbing shoulders where he's, you know, sitting or gisting with his friends, so I'm somewhere with someone else from the family or something. And just how he loved music, you know, and he just loved life. He'd drink his tea, you know, open the windows, enjoy music in the house, sit down outside in front of the house, you know, greet people passing by. you know, just the simple things. You know, he wasn't superficial at all.
Wow.
You know, yeah.
So were there words? Can you remember any word of advice he gave you as a child growing up?
Well, something he always used to say was keep trying to try. You know, in fact, he even made I remember an old T-shirt he would wear in the house that had it printed, you know, on it. Almost like you customize your clothes now, you know, and you put quotes and all that. He just had it there, keep trying to try. So obviously he was someone who believed in just, you know, motion, just keep moving, you know, don't stop. So I think for sure I've borrowed that somehow, and I just keep, as you said, reinventing myself, you know.
Okay. When you say borrow, as a father, are you passing on that legacy down to the kids?
For sure. For sure. It's important for the children to enjoy themselves, to be children, to have fun while they're still young, you know, but also to remember that hard work, you know, is important. It's important to stay in school. It's important to get good grades. It's important to learn music. You know, my son is playing the clarinet. He's picking the clarinet up.
Wow.
I encourage him to swim, you know, encourage him to play football. You know, he wants to play for Arsenal.
How old is he?
He's 9, almost 9, yeah. You know, so both of them, him and his sister, just encourage them to believe in themselves, you know, nothing is to your imagination. Anything you can imagine, you know, is possible. You know, she likes to draw, she likes to cut, like, you know, making things, you know, like arts and craft and stuff like that. So
wow.
You catch them young. You can never, I can't say, oh, you must
follow my...
No. As long as it's something you feel from inside and you're passionate about it, it's important to encourage them.
So do you have as much time as your dad did for them? I mean, given
think,
all the things you do now.
Yeah, in comparison to, at least for myself, I want to make sure I'm there more than he was. Of course, he wasn't not there because he didn't want to be, but you know, the work was ridiculous. At the end of the day, you know, passing away from a third stroke, you know, obviously meant that you were working yourself too much. You didn't pay attention to your health, you know, as much as you should have. So it's important to stay alive, to stay healthy, you know, but it's also important to spend time with family, because at the end of the day, that's all you have. Yeah.
So were you the only one that picked up this creative bug in the family?
The music is only me. It's only me. Although my siblings, they enjoy music. They have a good ear in terms of they can tell you, okay, this doesn't sound music. Yeah, but not professionally. Nobody else.
Nobody had the guts
not at all.
to delve in. But were you encouraged by your mom?
For sure, because you know, my mom and dad, they met in a choir. You know, I think it was FRCN or Radio Nigeria, something back in the day. They were both in broadcasting. You know, so they met. You know, and she loved to sing. And she, till tomorrow, I've never seen anybody that does oriki. I don't know if you know what oriki is. The traditional Yoruba, when she asks you what's your name, and you say Jennifer, no, that's not your name. What's your name? They must have given you a name in the village, have you? Or your traditional name. Once you tell her your traditional name, especially if you're Yoruba, she will trace, using your name, she will start talking about your lineage. She'll start talking about your forefathers and
just
you know,
like
your
without knowing you.
She doesn't need to know you. So by the time she's finished, then now you go put her for pockets.
You do. See.
There's no. It's automatic, and she doesn't do it because of the money. But she, I mean, it was something she did. Yeah, it was something she did on the side. You know, she would go to different weddings, engagement parties. It became almost like a profession, but that wasn't her core profession. She was a broadcaster. She was a language training officer with the airport's authority. So on the side, I would follow her. So it's something that I saw, you know, firsthand, you know, and I've seen how people you will melt. You know, it's like, this woman don't see me finish today. Like she has finished. There's nothing else to say. I was born, this is what I saw, you know, growing up.
Is she still alive?
No, unfortunately. God rest her soul.
Wow.
You know,
so
that's 10 years now. Yeah, officially.
Officially.
Officially, I'm an orphan.
Like it's an award of some sort. Can you imagine?
No, when my friends nowadays, you know, or someone I know loses, you know, either their mom or dad, you know, after the condolences, I say, welcome to the club.
You know, a lot of people might have reservations about working with their spouse in the same space.
No, I don't. We've been doing that from day one, so it's not something that is an issue at all.
It's not an issue.
But I can understand some people just don't get along business-wise.
Why do you think so?
I don't know. Everybody has their own.
What has worked for you?
I think it's communication. You're just finding that common ground, understanding each other, and realizing that you complete each other. And when you say that you finish each other's sentences, then before I finish saying something, she's finished it. And that's exactly what I was going to say, and vice versa. So, it makes life easy.
Wow.
I think I'm lucky.
You're very lucky. Very lucky. How did you meet her?
Yeah. A long time ago. It was an event. It was an event. It
can't be too long.
It's long ago. This is like 12 years now. 11. That's long.
That day will always remain green in your mind.
Yeah, but it was an event. Yeah.
Was it love at first sight?
It was something at first sight.
Okay.
It was something. We're not sure. Well, I wasn't sure what it was, but I knew there was something there. But within it didn't take very long. Yeah.
Before you just struck a chord.
I just knew. Yeah.
She was the one?
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm sure you would have broke a lot of people's heart who were thinking that come.
I'm sure. And I apologize. I don't apologize. I'm not sorry. They've found their own now. It's okay. It's okay.
You're not the girl I used to know.
Now playing. Thecla. Yeah, something like that.
Oh
something
my
like that. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
Darey. You're a bombshell.
Yes, I'm a handful.
Yeah, a handful.
Yeah.
You have a nice way of.
You have to be nice about it.
Creatively
Yeah, you have to be nice.
expressing
Not be,
yourself
you have to.
in a way that complete the sentence.
In a way that defies
All understand.
all of Ah, man, you're bringing, yeah.
Wow.
No,
So,
you're making
married
me
life, how is it?
fantastic. Fantastic. Of course, it's tough, the reality of living in Nigeria and raising a family, but yeah, with love and understanding and, with, God involved.
Yeah, you just mentioned some things now. God involved. Yes, that's one thing that a lot of people hang on to.
Yeah.
So, what other factors has worked for you? Because given the industry, you hear people getting married in 2 years, sometimes even 1 year.
Yeah.
It's all
Or
over.
less.
Or less. It's all over. But you have kept yours strong and going. So what's
I don't
the
know.
secret?
I don't know how
Because
how that
obviously
happens
love,
with people.
Love, doesn't really hold it as
It's
much
not
as
just
we're
love.
expecting it
It's
to.
not just love. It's not just love. You have to understand each other. You have to be tolerant. You have to remember that it's two different people. People can't change automatically overnight. So that's where the patience and the tolerance comes from. It's not everything that you love. About the person. You have to learn how to love and accept some things about that person. With time, the person may get over some of those things that you don't like, especially when she or he knows that, okay, you don't like it. After, it's like you make mistakes, you learn, from making mistakes. So you can't expect your love to be perfect if you don't work on it.
How have you been able to manage your persona in the public sphere? Because you seem to have a squeaky clean reputation.
I'm just myself. I'm just myself. I mind my business. I stay out of trouble. Face my work.
Are you saying those people
I face my work.
face trouble?
No, sometimes
They
it's not
invite
deliberate.
trouble.
It's not. Yeah, it works differently for people, But I just do the best that I can do, and just be myself. There's no unnecessary. I don't have an unnecessary big man syndrome. I'm just me. I don't have police siren outside waiting, or some things are just unnecessary. But when we start to make them necessary, they become more important than what they should be. So I'm just using those things as examples because I mean, again, it's specific to people. You don't know what people are going through. Each person in their own situation. Some people crack under
pressure.
The first pressure they get, they crack. So everybody's built differently.
Okay, so you look very strong. You come across as a very strong and firm person. Now, you must have weaknesses. What are those things? What are those weaknesses?
I don't know.
Don't say
What are the weaknesses?
You see who you're talking about. We're talking about somebody else.
Well, I don't know. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect either. I think I procrastinate. Although it's better now. Before it was really bad. I procrastinate and then I forget. So I end up not getting it done, you know. So now it's better with, you know, with calendars and with Google Calendar. Now you tend to keep on schedule, you know, having the right people around you to remind you of what needs to be done. I don't work out as much as I should be working out. So it's something I keep telling myself, but I have to get back to. I used to at a point, and then so it fluctuates, you know, and I think that comes with mood and how you feel and all that. I should be eating better, you know, eating healthier, but sometimes you just, you know, you forget what needs to be done. There's so many little things like that.
So what gets to you?
What gets to me? People who can't see how inept they are. You know, people who you just don't see the problems you are causing, you know, or, you know, you're so blinded by your own, you know, self-belief, you know, that you can't go wrong, and you keep making mistakes, and it affects everybody else, you know, that spiral effect, and you still think you are right on top of it. So, you know, especially in the workspace, you know, people who are impatient. You know, patience is a real virtue, but sometimes I can also be impatient. So, you know, it's neither here nor there.
I look at you holistically, and I'm wondering, what
as in see finish?
No.
I don't know the way you like.
No.
As I see you finish, go ahead. I just had to.
Yes. No,
Holistically.
I'm looking at you, you know, head to toe. And the question is, what
like
is
when
that
you're eyeing somebody?
No. I'm just reviewing.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I'm just looking at you. And the thing is, I'm asking, what is that part of you that, you know, you say, okay, yes, God must have created me on a public holiday.
As in, he had enough time.
Yes, to put that as part of me.
I don't know. Maybe my voice. It's something that I think, you know, it's always worked for me, worked with me, and it's majorly the reason why I'm where I am today.
Well, Darey, this is where we're wrapping. Thank you so much for gracing our show.
Thank you very much, Thecla.
Here on Saturday night, we're always wishing you the best. We know you have a lot of potential, and you're reaching out. May God continually bless the works of your hand. Thank you so much for coming.
Good to see you again, Thecla.
And so, viewers, on that note, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in on this week's edition of Saturday Night. As always, be kind to one another and stay well.